So first of all, let me show you the difference between gesture drawing and anatomy. Okay, so let me go to anatomy first. Alright, so this is how anatomy works, alright? And as you can see, this is how anatomy works. So compared to gesture drawing, is anatomy focuses on the shape rather than the pose. And that's one problem that most artists like us struggle a lot. So here's the one for gesture drawing. Alright, now we can see the difference. So the main point about here is, again, anatomy focuses on the shape, while gesture drawing focuses on the pose. And the reason why gesture drawing is easy, easier than anatomy, is that gesture drawing is much more concise compared to anatomy. And furthermore, you don't need that much guidelines because gesture drawing emphasizes the vagueness of the human figure, and it only emphasizes a lot on the pose rather. Yeah. Alright, so I know you're not here for this, but alright, let me show you how gesture drawing really should go. You guys can follow along. Just tell me if something isn't clear before I proceed. Good so far. Alright, right on. So first of all, let me start with the very basic breakdown of gesture drawing. So right here, what I did right here is, it's not a shape, but it is a curved line. And what this curved line represents is the line of action. So the line of action is basically the pose itself, the movement of the human body. So let me proceed further. So I know this is a stick man, but there's more to the story. And but yeah, this is essentially the basic breakdown of gesture drawing. The point about here is, you don't have to overfix it, and you have to keep it simple, and that's it. There's nothing else you need to stress about. And in fact, once you master gesture drawing, you don't have to learn a lot about anatomy, because again, like I said, gesture drawing emphasizes on the pose, especially the curves. When, like, when it comes to female bodies, in which I know all of you are really interested in. And yeah. Alright, so let me show you a bit of example. So you just follow along, right? Just draw along. Then if you have any questions so far, just ask me. Hey Bento, so and let me point something out. So when it comes to gesture drawing, there's a lot of freedom compared to anatomy. It's just basically like, let's say you bought a pose figure, like a 3D printed figure that something that should aid you for anatomy. It's basically like this, but you just have to use your imagination. And the only problem that you will face with gesture drawing is that you will just have to, what do you call this? You just have to decide which pose you want to draw. And yeah, that's it. Right, so now you wonder why, the reason why I'm not doing any fixes on this. That's the point of gesture drawing. You have to avoid too much erasures. Because again, this is not anatomy, right? This is gesture drawing. This is the nature of it. It is vague, it is simple, and another thing that gesture drawing focuses is it builds your confidence when drawing lines specifically. Oh, you like my voice? Better start watching my YouTube channel, rather. Yeah, so this is exactly the existential crisis that I'm currently struggling with. I'm still thinking of what pose I should, draw. And yeah, that I hope you can deal with it. But don't worry, like I said again, once you get the basics of gesture drawing, you shouldn't struggle a lot with anatomy. Alright, so we have a question right here. Should so gestures should be drawn without reference? Well, not necessarily. You can actually draw gestures with reference, just so that you can build the basic foundation of the subject. Just like, how every artist relies on reference, rather pro or beginner. So, if you want to rely on references when you want to draw gesture drawings, just go for it. Because, it's easier for us. But, like, once you get the basics, you should be able to draw without references. In which, I have nothing and look at the screen. Just Discord and MS Paint. I'm just using my mental imagery skills telepathy at its finest. Alright, so enough of that. Now I'm going to show you how I turn gesture drawing into an anime. I hope you're following along, guys. Alright, so before I proceed, is there any questions that I can entertain with? Or like, if you're not following along, like, if my screen was not so clear, just ask questions. Nothing? I guess we're following along right on. Alright. Now that's a problem. What pose I'm supposed to draw? Oh, whatever. Damn, that's very tight. Alright, so as you all can see here, this is actually how I draw my bases. I start with gesture drawing, then once I get the basic structure of it, that's where I can lay down the anatomy of it. That's where I can give the shape. Because, at least from my experience, the pose influences the anatomy of an object. And that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so is the middle line thing helpful for anatomy? So let me get it clear. So when you mean the middle line, do you mean the spine? Yeah, absolutely. It's just that, especially on new artists, they don't know how to manipulate the spine or curve it. It's just like they don't have the understanding of how the spine actually works. Because for me, in my experience, it's not the spine that's the issue here. The real issue when I see about artists is, yeah, sure, they curve the spine, but the problem is they're not, especially the chest and torso, they're not following along with the guideline of the spine, right? Let me show you. So let's say they curve the spine, right? Oh my god, wrong. So let's say they curve the spine, right? So what they do is they go straight like this. This is the side view, by the way. They go like this. So that's why the pose is real stiff. Instead of going like this, which is the correct anatomy, that's where the spine actually comes into play. Yeah. So another example, right? Yeah. Especially when you want to, right? No problem. So last thing, if you want to make something curve, oh man, I found my voice. Especially if you want the torso to be twisted, the only thing that you have to think of is the chest itself. So let's say you wanted to twist it whatever way you want. Let's say twisting on his or her left. That's the way. So when you decided to finalize it, it should go like this. So first of all, when I draw the torso, I go with a cone shape that starts with from the breast part, from the chest specifically, going down to the pelvis, because That's actually much more easier than, doing something like this. That that's less dynamic in my opinion. And besides, it's much more difficult if you do it like this compared to the cone shape like this. Can you see it? Can you see my point? So when you try to finalize it, yeah, I know I made the chest wider, but you get the point. Yeah, yeah. So should be something like that. All right, so back again. So right now I have the main gesture right here. Now I'm going to break it down into its anatomy form. Sometimes when you're a professional, you tend to skip these steps, in which I often do when I draw an actual masterpiece, in which I almost did to this stream. But just so you know, I'm not a professional. I'm just an experienced artist. But yeah, so while I'm drawing right here, this is the best time yet. You can ask questions about this subject specifically, or anything that you want to know. Can you do the same things on traditional too? Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I find it quicker and easier on paper compared to digital. I mean, perhaps the surface of the paper was really different compared to with drawing on an iPad. Hey. But yeah, I can definitely do it. So at least from my experience, the only difficult thing about gesture drawing, I mean, the additional thing about the difficulties in gesture drawing is that when you're drawing huge figures like this, or maybe like something bigger than what I'm currently drawing right now. So, at least when you're trying to practice gesture drawing, just focus on small figures because it's easier. Yeah, it's just easier in my experience. And when you're trying to draw a figure, you shouldn't like zoom in too much because the human eyes are the human eyes are designed to look at something specific rather than general. And I'll show you why. So when I try to zoom in when drawing a figure, like zooming in too much, we tend to only uh, we tend to only focus on that specific area. Yeah, I know, Arthur. Yeah, this class will be on YouTube, by the way. Absolutely. Yeah, just click on my profile. My channel's right there. GF4K Arts. Yeah, and also you can see when you're zooming in too much, you're going to have like a lot of anatomical problems in which I can foresee it now. To be honest, a bit of out of the topic. I was I was thinking of making a tutorial in my channel about hands, but I'm not sure how to even explain it in words. I feel I feel so humiliated on myself. Yeah, just random hands. I don't care. I don't care. There, right? Now you can see how flat this looks compared to this, right? I hope you all can see the difference. See? This one is much more stiff. The left one, it's much more stiff, not so dynamic, and flat as what we all would say. Compared to this one, if you noticed earlier, I didn't zoom too much, and that's what I'm actually talking about. We we make perfections, or not necessarily perfections, but we make things with more accuracy when we're focusing on something specific. Like let's say you're tunnel visioning on something. What is thicker too? Yeah, absolutely, man. It is a hobby of mine of drawing thick women. Yeah. So another pro thing, when you're trying to like do foreshortening, I advise you guys to make contour lines like you know like this cross right here, just so that you can accentuate the 3D-ness of the shape. Yeah. Personally, when it comes to anatomy, by the way, the most difficult thing about anatomy is, aside from hands, the foreshortening. Especially when it comes like, when the hand is like pushing directly to the viewer. You see that? I'm not actually zooming too much. And more importantly, I'm not trying to stress the perfection of the anatomy, in which, I know most all of you do. But, it doesn't matter. I also used to be you. So, yeah, relax. Also, by the way, here's a tip when it comes to anatomy, especially when you're drawing females. or basically like anybody in general. So when you're drawing cylinders shouldn't actually be straight because, like, again, like I mentioned in my very recent video, the how to draw arms video, it's not just the arms that are not straight, especially the limbs. It's the whole human body. They're not straight like this, and that's also the contributing factor that makes your body much more stiff as compared to this one right here. It looks more dynamic. Like, especially what I did here. There's barely any curves, especially on the limbs, which is something that you should consider off when you're drawing, especially anatomy. Hold on, y'all can still follow. Like, if you have any questions, just ask. So when it comes to the anatomy stage, this is where I make some necessary adjustments compared to gesture drawing. So don't be afraid to do that because especially when you're trying to finish a masterpiece, you want it you want like to cook a really delicious Big Mac for your customers. Oh, bruh. Yeah, I know sometimes I have this weird habit of making the head much bigger than, the body. Or not actually bigger, but proportionally right. Yeah, something like that. So, alright, here's the anatomy stage of from gesture drawing to the anatomy stage of my drawing. And here's the basic body that I'm going to finalize. And by the way, when it comes to refining the anatomy, as you can see, I'm not actually or exactly following the base shape of the anatomy because that's the point of refining things. It needs to look better compared to the base drawing. Don't get yourself locked up, right? That's the point about refining. Don't be afraid to, make adjustments of your own volition. So does it work to put a lot of details from the second step, or does it move it? Well, it really depends on, I think for that matter, yeah, it really depends on, especially on, because I really get carried away and just draw very detailed from the start. Oh, I see. So perhaps maybe that's the reason why you're confused on, like, placing the details of the human body, right? Okay, I see. Well, if you have the full understanding of the human body, like the back of your hand, then there shouldn't be a problem. But like I said again, anatomy is a nearly accurate visual representation of the human body. And like what most artists would say, you should break it down into basic features. Chubby women stand out. Well, technically they're the same, but I haven't drawn chubby women before, so the anatomy might be different, but the basics of drawing it is, it mostly might be it's mostly the same as how you would draw a slim woman. That's my opinion though. I haven't drawn any chubby women in my whole life. Yeah, I'm going to skip the hands. Yeah, you you know the reason why. Yeah, just laugh about it. Lazy. I mean, actually, that's how I actually draw hands when breaking them down into, simple, manageable geometries. And clavicle, like Art Senpai said in my collab with him, they're not straight. They're slightly bent, like something like this. Oh shit, the nonsense. Oh yeah, by the way, when it comes to drawing heads, one thing that I really hate about drawing heads is the front face, especially when like you have to like make the symmetry as accurate as you can, especially without the use of symmetry rulers. That's why I hate them. But I mean, I tend to use symmetry rulers sometimes, but in these days I don't because I just wanted to improve naturally. Just learned it some days ago, and now the drawings with straight clavicles make me want to cry. No, I feel you actually. Yeah, again, the head it'll look small. Oh yeah, by the way, rule of digital drawing. You should also flip your drawings, in which I forgot to do in the stream, and I know I'm guilty of it. But it doesn't matter. This. Oh, bruh. Oh, so it looks a bit good, I guess. All right, there we are. So this may not be the final, but I like the legs. Yeah, exactly. Same. I mean, most of the time when let me show you something. I like tall women, that's why. And this is actually the drawing that I did with a Pokemon style. Like I'm not talking about the drawing style, but the silhouette, the teaser trailer of the drawings. And yes, it came from the gesture drawing that we just watched from just right now. All right, so yeah, those are all of my drawings. If you're curious, but later than that. So, is there anything else you need to learn? Like, this is the time to ask questions and stuff. A more complete head? Yeah, sure. Hold on. Or actually, let me make this bigger. Where should I start roughly? It it really depends on which pose you were going, at least from my experience. But there's I know there's a fair amount of tutorials that does that, the basics. You know, like I said again, when you're starting just your drawing, you should focus on uh, the line of action. You have to study which uh, which of those lines would generate that figure. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say this is the line of action right here. Yeah, it's like that. You just need to find that post lines that could potentially generate a figure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you just need to learn to get the line that what you want. Oh, yeah, no problem. Right. Is the hair motion included in gesture drawing? Because I draw. Yeah, absolutely. I know there are some tutorials that does that, and yeah, that's the thing about drawing hair. You have to keep it simple, then like draw strand by strand until like you draw like a trillion of them. Like you have to start pulling your scalp off your head. You know. Wait, bro. I think I wasn't in the mood to draw faces right now. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, screw that. Well, at least the important thing is I at least laid out most of the important information about this topic alone. So, yeah, sorry about that. So, is there anything that else you need to learn? Because if not, I'll be free to end the stream right here, right now. Bruh.